Utaanza tu kwa ufupi, jina lako ni nani na ni nini haswa ilitendeka?
Naitwa CHIRA. And I saw the whole accident. It happened that a lorry was coming up from the other side.
Fame is one of the most sought-after ambitions, especially for young people. And as much as it comes with different opportunities and most times a fat wallet, it sure carries its own price, like the loss of privacy, security, and in most times rises your pride to utter arrogance that has seen most famous people rise and fall fast to no return. While some seek and work hard to be famous, some get lucky. That one act, 1 minute at the right place can catapult them to everyone's screen, and they are famous overnight. And such was the story for a young Kenyan boy who, after witnessing an accident, became an overnight sensation for his eloquence and impressive command in the English language as he was interviewed as a key witness. People were captivated by his ability to captivate and connect with his audience in the Now Witness video. And it's from here that he decided to venture into content creation. Welcome back to Tavern Crime Chronicles. We explore strange, mysterious, chilling, solved and unsolved cases. If you have the nerve for fascinating stories, this is your channel. We approach our cases with empathy and extensive research. And if you appreciate our true crime storytelling, kindly support us by subscribing and liking this video. Thank you. Today's story branches from our usual murder stories, but it definitely is crime for what is a hit and run. Only a heartless person drives off after knocking someone to the ground with no idea of what is left of them. The reckless act of fleeing the scene of crime after causing serious injury reflects so much on the character of the driver, as they are trying to avoid accountability and payment for the crime committed, which in most cases attracts a fine or a jail term. Such a driver's lack of humanity can lead to injury of property and people, and sometimes death. Now, whether Brian's story came to an end due to the recklessness of the lorry driver or his deadly sin of drunkenness, I will leave that to you, my viewers, to judge. This is the tragic story of Brian CHIRA. Born Brian Wambui CHIRA, Brian was born in Githunguri, Kiambu County on July 6, 1996. He had a normal childhood, growing up with his mother, a school teacher, but unfortunately lost her at a tender age of 8 to HIV. He was left in the care of his aunt, who saw him through school, but she too would eventually lose her life to the same, leaving him in the care of his grandmother together with his 2 cousins. These 2 events would have a profound impact on him and would shape his outlook on life eventually. He grew up in a humble family, facing different life challenges, as his grandmother had to toil to keep food on the table, a roof on their heads, and even see them through school. And with old age setting in, it was getting so difficult for his ever hard-working grandmother to cater for school fees amidst other necessities. Brian CHIRA dropped out of school and started doing odd jobs here and there, which included washing clothes to support his grandmother and also help take care for his younger cousins. December 16, 2022, the fateful day that would forever be engraved on his mind, as an unfortunate situation paved way for his rise to the limelight. One fateful day in Ngata, Nakuru, Brian was feeling bored and decided to purchase a bottle of liquor with the last of his earnings from doing a laundry hustle. As fate would have it, he happened to be in the right place at the right time, positioned at the scene of the accident that claimed 8 lives and 16 were injured. While NTV, a local television, was reporting a live broadcast at the scene of crime, passers-by recognized and pushed him to the front of the camera to give a testimony as an eyewitness. He introduced himself as, "I am CHIRA, Brian CHIRA," a signature phrase that would eventually become his punchline. Viewers were mesmerized at his command of the English language, his flow and poise as he was interviewed. The video went viral, with many content creators posting about him on different platforms like TikTok and Instagram. It was his ability to captivate and connect with the audience while being insanely comic that was remarkable and got everyone talking across the nation. I was trending without even knowing it," Brian CHIRA was heard saying one time in an interview with Oga Obinna, a content creator. He did not have a phone, so people kept telling him that he was trending all over social media. With no phone to his name and unaware of newfound popularity, CHIRA was astonished that he had become an overnight sensation. While his grandmother was unhappy with the instant fame, Brian explained to her that maybe it was a blessing in disguise and would help them make money for survival. Encouraged by the unexpected positive response, Brian CHIRA wondered what more he could do, and he saw an opportunity in an otherwise unfortunate occurrence where many people had lost their lives. Out of necessity and ambition, Brian CHIRA purchased himself a cheap smartphone and started his journey on TikTok as a full-time endeavor. In his subsequent video, he donned a wig to surprise and engage his audience further. And as he gave his signature punchline, the video went viral again, getting him so many followers who were intrigued and wanted to see what more he could offer. Embracing the new opportunity, Brian dedicated himself to producing daily TikTok videos, relentlessly pursuing his dreams of radio and widespread recognition. Labeled as the drunk eyewitness, Brian took to TikTok to clarify a misconception that although his videos portray him as being intoxicated, it's not an accurate reflection of his daily life, but netizens would choose to differ, as he was mostly seen with a bottle of liquor. Determined to overcome financial constraints and become a household name in Kenya, Brian CHIRA poured his energy in creating multiple videos daily with the hope that they would bring him the recognition he required. His hard work in making TikTok videos seemed to be paying off as his life started to change. Going to further his earlier halted education had always been a dream, and he sure went back to school, Kabarak University, pursuing economics and mathematics. He was also able to take care of his grandmother and cousins, something he took pride in as a man. But let's face it, rising to fame is one thing, but staying relevant is another, as content creators are setting stage every day, so one has to work very hard. And for some, it includes being controversial, or even attacking other big content creators for clout so as to stay afloat. Whether he was chasing clout or just utter disdain for fellow TikTok star and Sound City radio host Aziad Nasenya, Brian CHIRA took to his own TikTok account raining insults on the TikTok queen. He was arrested on July 28, 2023, and charged with defamation against Aziad, but was later released on bond. He is known to have come out to share his HIV status as being HIV positive. This he did live on his TikTok account while taking his antiretroviral drugs, ARVs, a thing that shocked many netizens. He said he did to encourage others and also to fight the discrimination and stigma against people living with HIV/AIDS. While Brian CHIRA behaved and portrayed himself as a homosexual, he dismissed all popular misconceptions that he was one. He, on one day, made a video confessing his love for Andrew Kaibe, a blogger and YouTuber, saying he loves his beard, wants him, and wants to kiss him. This Andrew did not give any attention, as a comment would give it unnecessary importance. While some of his followers found him entertaining, many found him quite annoying, and his content left a lot to be desired, as some commented that was it not for his character, he could have landed himself a good job with radio or television. His biggest weakness was alcohol, and some friends and even fellow TikTokers called him out to stop drinking, for it would be the end of him. And as the saying goes, if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. Brian CHIRA lived for the bottle, and unfortunately it would lead to his demise. From a troubled childhood to instant fame, Brian CHIRA was overwhelmed with constant ridicule amidst some praise from fans. He mentioned how he couldn't use a matatu without being pointed at and often felt unsafe in his own home. And like the song "More Money, More Problems" by American rapper The Notorious Big, Brian was constantly spending money on bills, medication, and chilling with the big boys to keep face. He mentioned having been under depression, constantly fought the urge to end his life. Because of this, he was constantly intoxicated with alcohol and never paid attention to advice when he was told it was not good for him to mix alcohol and medication. Friday, March 15, 2024 was a day like any other, and for fan lovers like Brian, weekends are for partying. All roads led to his favorite local bar in Gattraj area, and he drunk himself silly and started causing a commotion as narrated by the bar operators. Security was called to bring calm, and Brian was thrown out of the bar at 2 a.m. in the wee hours of the morning on 16th of March. While outside the bar at 2:50 a.m., awaiting what next, Zalek Momanyi, a friend who had alighted from the motorcycle, spotted him. Brian narrated his predicament and requested for a ride home as he was completely wasted. They both sat as pillion passengers as they headed home riding on the motorbike. Brian CHIRA asked them to drop him closer to his house, and he obliged, but before they could get there, he alighted from the motorcycle and started running away, a stunt his friend said was to avoid paying fare. Unfortunately for him, he was knocked by a speeding white Canter lorry, and he died on the spot. The impact threw Brian meters ahead, and the lorry that hit him ran over his body before speeding away. Zalek, together with the rider who had chased him to ensure his safety, witnessed it all like a horror movie, and he called the police immediately. The rider would eventually flee the scene of crime, and his body was taken to the city mortuary, where he would be identified by mourning friends and family. And as the police are hunting for the hit-and-run driver of the white Canter lorry, many people are left in shock and bewilderment at the life lost so fast. The irony of his life is even more perplexing at how he came to the limelight after witnessing an accident, and his life was ended by the same. March 16, 2024. Some say was a number jinxed against him, for he rose to fame on December 16, 2022, and would unfortunately lose his life on March 16, 2024. And as the family and fans mourn the loss of a social media entertainer, we grieve with the family during this time of profound grief for their loss, and even pray that the hit-and-run driver will be brought to justice. And this here is the end of the thrilling but short life story of Brian CHIRA. He lived, he laughed, he loved. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.